Hi. Hi, my name is Jordan. I'm 22 years old, and I wanted to make this video for the May month for Apraxia awareness. It's so cool that I know that we have a month now, because I never knew that in the past. So this video is just going to be questions and answers from questions that I got from my support group. I asked if they wanted me to make a video, and they said sure, and I'm going to be giving some answers to the questions. But first of all, before we get into this and you don't know what I'm talking about, verbal apraxia is a neurological disconnection between your brain and your mouth. So now those were some really fancy words. Let me try to break it down some. Another way to say this would be that your brain has trouble sending your mouth signals to have accurate speech. So what I'm trying to say by that is that most of the time, well, not most of the time, all of the time, I know what I want to say, but sometimes the word just does not come out, and it sucks. But just because the brain has trouble sending the mouth signals for accurate movements of speech doesn't mean these muscles are weak, because they are in fact not weak. They just sometimes don't do their job. So that's what verbal apraxia is, if anybody did not know. So now, since I've kind of gotten that out of the way, let's get to the questions. So the first question is, do you have an accent? And I think what this person means by accent is sometimes when people have verbal apraxia, it can come off like they have an accent. I don't know. I've been told that I have a southern accent. I've been told I've been mistaken for Scotland and for German. Do most people notice a difference in your speaking patterns? I would say yes, but I also think it depends on the person, how close they're really paying attention to what I'm saying, and also what is the length of our conversation. Or are we having a short conversation, or are we having a long conversation? If it's more longer, more prolonged, then yeah, they might, but I don't get any questions. People are always pretty nice. So the third question is, did things get easier or harder as you aged? Things got easier, 100%. Things did. I struggled a lot when I was a kid, and I had years of speech, and I returned back to speech 2 years back. So I think I've been in speech therapy for a total of 8 years now, give or take. So yeah, things have definitely gotten easier. So this other question is, at what age did your family, friends, and peers really start to understand you? Sorry, my dog's doing something really dumb. My family started to understand me when I was young. So they took the time to really try to grab a hold of what I was trying to say. And I would often point to things that I wanted and stuff like that. Yeah. How long did you go to speech therapy if you received it? So I have went to speech. I went my kindergarten year through my 6th grade year. and then I stopped. And then I returned in my freshman year of college, and I've been in it since. So for 8 years, and it's been good. It's been good. The other question is also, are you left-handed or of a German descent? If I said that word right. I am neither of those things. Is it easier to pronounce things as you get older or harder? Things got more easy. I feel like I should really express that because I feel like a lot of parents are going to watch this for their kids, and they're seeing their kids struggle right now. And I feel like the main question is my kid really going to struggle this hard for their life? And the answer is no. If you get them help, if you get them speech, if you encourage them to talk, if you encourage them to use their voice and not to be afraid to use their voice, things will get more easy. Did having apraxia early in life affect your confidence to talk to strangers? So it did. Because it's once you go up to a stranger, you don't know that person at all. So things are nerve-wracking for any person. And for me, having verbal apraxia and seeing this stranger, and the first thought that comes to my mind is, are they going to know that I have a speech disorder? Are they going to notice I talk different? I would say within the past few years, it has not affected it as much now. Does anyone know you have or had a speech impairment when you have had a conversation with them today? The answer for this is that they know that I talk different, but they don't know why. Because most people aren't really thinking in the back burner of their mind, this person really might have a speech problem. This person may have a speech disorder. Is usually not that, and not got mistaken for different things for the reason why I talk. So they can tell that I talk different, which is okay that I talk different. But they just can't ever like wrap their head around like why. So when I meet a new person, I usually go up to them and I say hey, and then after like a few moments in the conversation, I'll just say, oh, it might take me a moment to get my words out because I have a speech disorder. And everybody's nice and everybody's fine. And that just kind of gets that out of the way. It's like, okay, let's clear the air now. And it makes me more comfortable as well. The next question is, as an adult, what are your views of the name childhood apraxia of speech being used instead of apraxia? And when you were younger, what was it called? So I'm going to first answer the second part of the question. When I was younger, it was called childhood apraxia of speech. When I got re-diagnosed with verbal apraxia, whenever I was around the age of 20 or 19, but I think I was 20, I was diagnosed with it then. So it was odd to me that it went from childhood apraxia of speech to verbal apraxia, and why wasn't verbal apraxia used my whole life? So I knew that this wasn't a disorder that wasn't only going to affect my childhood, but also affect the remainder of my life as well. So I think to use that term, childhood, really isn't the best, and I would have to argue that we shouldn't really use this term. I don't like the term, but if you are a kid, I believe it's fine to be called that. But I would not want anybody to. I would not want a doctor to ask me, oh, so you have childhood apraxia of speech. It wouldn't feel right because I'm an adult now. Like, I'm 22. Like, so yeah, that's my opinion. Thank you guys so much for asking me these questions and for sending them in, and I hope that I was able to answer your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll be happy to answer any more questions. If you are a parent of a kid that has verbal apraxia, if you are a child that has verbal apraxia, or an adult, I would like to just say to keep on fighting for your kid. Or if you are the person with verbal apraxia that is watching this, I would want to really encourage you to keep on fighting for your voice, because you have a voice, whatever that voice is, and you're awesome, and don't give up. So yeah. So thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later, I guess. Okay, bye.